Are you troubled by the process of this? The president did propose or did get involved with the DREAM Act, which was defeated by Congress in 2010. A lot of people are calling this an executive end run around Congress to accomplish the same thing.
Which is exactly what it is. Beyond the pandering, beyond the politics, beyond the process, is simple constitutional decency. This is out and out lawlessness. You had a clip of the president himself saying months ago, I cannot do this on my own because there are laws on the books. Well, I have news for the president. The laws remain on the books. They haven't changed. He proposed the DREAM Act, of which this executive order is a variation. He proposed the DREAM Act. The Congress said no. The Congress is the one who makes the laws. What the administration does is it administers the law, and in fact, what it's pretending to do is to use discretion. That's what the Homeland Security Secretary said. This is not discretion. Discretion is when you treat an individual on a one-by-one basis on the grounds of extenuating circumstances. This is the declaration of a whole new set of criteria, which is essentially resurrecting the legislation that the Congress has said no to. And I think it's not how you run a constitutional republic. This ought to be in the hands of Congress, and it is an end run. And what's ironic, of course, is that for 8 years, the Democrats had been screaming about the imperial presidency of the Bush administration, the nonsense about the unitary executive. This is out and out lawlessness. This is not how you govern. And I think that's the first issue that should be on the table.
Now, as you know, the negative tone of the immigration debate has created intense interest in the Latino and immigrant community. We, in the last election, had the largest turnout of Latino voters in our history. And everything tells us these voters fully intend to become engaged into the elections in the future. They have tasted what it is like to participate and win, and they are not going to go away, because their involvement is basically because they feel that they are being taken advantage of, they are being singled out, and they are being scapegoated. Now, when they voted in November, they voted overwhelmingly for progressive candidates. Barack Obama got 2 out of every 3 voters that showed up. And so I think there's 2 things, very quickly, that matter for the progressive community. Number 1, if we are to expand this electorate to win, the progressive community needs to solidly be on the side of immigrants. That will solidify and expand the progressive coalition for the future. And let me tell you, when you are in the middle of a fight for your life, you will remember who was there with you. And immigrants count on progressives to be able to do that. Number 2, we reformed the immigration laws. It puts 12 million people on the path to citizenship and eventually voters. Can you imagine if we have even the same ratio, 2 out of 3, if we have 8 million new voters that care about our issue and will be voting, we will create a governing coalition for the long term, not just for an election cycle.